Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. I am Stephen Meadows, Chief Operating Officer of Coldwell Banker Premier, and I am so excited to be joined by one of our loan officers from our sister company, Success Mortgage, Ryan Roge.
That's the way it looks.
I am really excited to be talking to him today about his journey in the mortgage business and some of the exciting products that his company has to offer and ways that you can work with him, whether you are a borrower or whether you're a real estate agent. So let's just dive right in. Ryan, thank you so much for coming today. What is your background? Tell me a little bit about what you've done before the days of Success Mortgage.
So, I guess as far as my mortgage career, I started in 2000. I had come back from college and just worked countless jobs, trying to kind of find my way. Wasn't really sure which direction I wanted to go. So after several jobs, I somehow transitioned to owning my own personal training business, which lasted for a few years. I was working 7 days a week all the time. And then I eventually had a conversation with a good friend of mine, Corey, who was clearly making a lot more money than I was. I mean, I was doing well, but he was really doing well. And in 2002, I joined a mortgage brokerage, and I never looked back. It's been mortgages since then.
What would you say is your favorite part of what you do?
I've always had a history of, I've always enjoyed helping people, which pretty much got me into personal training. I could help people, use my knowledge, my experience, and really guide people to a healthier lifestyle, so on and so forth. My entire work history has always consisted of me being in the services related field. I used to go, so Corey, myself, and a handful of other guys, we used to go every year. We'd have an annual boys weekend. We'd go to Vegas, just do the Vegas thing for a long weekend. I'd worked a lot. I made pretty good money. I knew that I was gonna waste, a handful, a couple $1,000s or whatever. Well, the money that I knew I was going to blow in Vegas, they were blowing 5 times as much money, and I just couldn't believe it. So after a couple of years of seeing the same thing, I had a conversation with Corey on the flight home about what was going on. And that conversation, basically, I'll remember for the rest of my life. Corey told me, he was like, Ryan, I've been telling you for a long time, I think you'd be great at doing mortgages. I can't promise you that you're going to do as well as us, but I can promise you that you'll do better than you are now. And that just sat with me for a long time. I became a loan officer, and I realized that I could help more people more effectively by becoming a loan officer. And that's exactly, I've had 20-some years now of making such a huge, just a dramatic change in people's futures, whether it's their net worth, they're finding new homes for growing families. I knew that I could do it, and I would do well because I would lead them in the most honest path possible. So I would deliver exactly what I was providing them versus all the stories that they were hearing other places that I knew just weren't true. And I love it. That's the most important part of the job.
Awesome. And since you have such a rich history with the mortgage business, how would you say Success Mortgage differs or compares to other companies in terms of programs, pricing, products, things like that?
It's Success Mortgage has an unfair comparison. We have the absolute best pricing. We have, I would say below market fees by far. We just have all these resources at our fingertips that make the process seamless, like quick, seamless, confident. So as far as options and programs, rates and all that, I've been in this business a long time, and I just believe we dominate in all aspects. It sounds like a sales pitch, but unfortunately, it's true.
Hey, if it's true. So
Yeah.
What sort of an experience would a borrower have working with Success Mortgage?
They would have a realistic person on their side that would be able to guide them through the home buying process. Or, even if I got to help a home seller at times, they would have the process of being fully educated with without the sales pitches, if you will. And they know that with us, they're sharing their information. They're providing financial documents, which are personal documents, obviously. Their experience is going to be confident. They have a trust professional that has, their best interest as a focus point for us. I would say that it would be an absolute seamless, comfortable, pleasant close or process for us.
When a borrower's thinking about getting into a new home or for the first time or a different home, what are some of the most important factors that success looks at to get them pre-approved?
What was the first part of the question?
Just when a borrower's looking to get into a home, like if they're going to start the process of getting a mortgage or anything like that, what is success looking at? What's the most important factors that they should be worried about, say they're preparing?
Our goal is always going to be to place our clients in their best possible financial position to buy a home. So, some people, they want to buy the biggest home they can possibly afford. And sometimes that may not be the best. From a financial perspective, affordability is very important. But we're going to look at, of course, your credit report. We want to look at trade lines. We want to look at your scores. We want to look at your income, your assets. We want to make sure that your debt ratios are in line. And the thing with Success Mortgage is that we have such a broad array of options and programs. We want to know everything we can because that's going to help. That insight alone helps us determine what is the best option for you. What's the best financial position, whether that's a program or a certain position, down payment, whatever it is. We want to look at all options available to us and make sure that we're providing the best experience going forward.
Excellent. And then what about programs for maybe low credit borrowers? What sort of options would they have if they're looking to do something?
So the difference typically with someone who has less than ideal credit, it always comes down to, most typically comes down to programs, whether you have cash, you're going to pay more up front, or due to whatever derogatory credit items maybe you have, work history, whatever it may be, you may pay more at a rate. So you're either going to pay more in the long term, maybe pay more up front. Or the programs that we have, we can go all the way down to a 500 score on an FHA program. Everybody's credit report is going to be different. They're snowflakes. So, I've seen credit reports where people have very, very low scores, but it's not because they haven't been paying their bills. It's because all of their accounts may have very high balances. So we have to look into that. We have to dive into that, to that perspective and say, hey, this is where we are. These are the things that we can do to either improve the score, whatever situation you're currently in. We certainly can choose. Here's your options to choose from. What do you think is going to work for you best to buy this home? And then obviously it doesn't end there because we want to stay in touch with this person. We want to monitor how they're moving forward and then potentially, ideally, put them in a better position down the road. That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So what about borrowers that don't have money? So maybe they have okay credit, but they don't have any money.
Last time that I checked, I believe we have about 9 choices for down payment assistance programs. There's a couple of programs we do have that, in my recent experience, I've been able to cover 100% of their down payment. I've been able to cover 100% of their closing costs. And I've actually had a little bit of a delta in grant money that I could help pay maybe for their appraisal, whatever it may be. So we've got plenty of programs to help just about anyone get into a home. Down payment is tough right now. A lot of people are living check to check with this inflation and everything going on right now. Down payment programs that we have, we can do both FHA and conventional, and literally it would alleviate all that pressure of having to come out of pocket just to get a home, get you in the home. You're comfortable with those payments, the home is yours.
What would you say to a borrower that is nervous about getting into this market right now? Interest rates are high, prices are high, but they still want to do something.
So we've all heard the infamous date the home.
Date the rate, marry the house.
Yeah. There's some truth to it, but overall, buying a home in a down market is, most people that feel they're gonna wait the market out for the better rate. The problem is especially right now when we have low inventory, there are hundreds of buyers out there, thousands of buyers out there, but only so many homes that are available. So when you have a majority of buyers thinking that same process, the problem is they're all going to come off the sidelines when rates go down. So most likely what's going to happen is you're going to either sacrifice your contingencies that protect your home, like your home inspection, which is a gamble in itself, or you could potentially end up overpaying for a home because you're going to be going up against so many other people. Stephen, I'm sorry. I forgot the track of that question.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. It was basically, what would you say to someone who's nervous about the market?
Nervous about the market with inventory being so low as it is, with all the inflationary terms we have going on right now, the market can only be healthy, I would argue, for the next decade. Being nervous about high rates right now, it's going to be a long time before we ever see the same rates that we saw a few years ago. I would argue that it's probably, from a financial perspective, it's probably a smarter idea to get into the home now, start building your equity, start building your net worth, not overpaying for a home right now because people are sitting on the sidelines. Because if you do wait, the market is not going to come to you. The market is ebb and flows all the time. So rather than competing with all the other buyers that come out to the market when rates drop, secure the home now and then refi into a lower rate and lower that payment in the future while all those other people are battling for homes. They're overpaid for homes. So that's my take on that.
And what would you say to a real estate agent about, if you're talking to a real estate agent and they want to build their business and they want to get more business and they want to leverage mortgage products, what advice would you give them?
So everybody's financial needs are a little different. As far as let's do that one over again, Seven.
Sure.
Ask the question again.
So yeah, I know I'm kind of butchering the question. Where is it? So the question, as I have typed, is what are some programs that an agent can leverage to increase their business with Success Mortgage?
Most other lenders just don't have is a buy before you sell program. We actually have a few different similar programs, but that are all generally working the same format. But the buy before you sell program, not only does it alleviate the pressure of, so, you know, when an agent has a buyer that makes good money, they've got plenty of assets, they're good buyers, but they have to sell their home in order to buy a new home. In that contract or in that offer, the agent has to place a pending sale contingency. In this market where it's still highly competitive, even with rates where they are right now, there may be 7 or 10 other offers on the same home that don't have that pending sale contingency. So there's no wait. The problem is if you have that, if you're stuck with that contingency on every offer you have, you may find it very difficult else out there because people have good jobs, people have good credit, good assets. This program that we have actually alleviates that. It takes your pending sale contingency off the contract. It also alleviates any pressures on your debt ratio, so you no longer have to carry the old mortgage at the same time, which makes your new home much more affordable. And we're able, with this program, the agent is still allowed to do their job without anybody kind of messing around or getting into the process. The process itself goes normal, just as it would without the buy before you sell program. And you basically get into the home at the same speed of time, close in 2 weeks. The home is yours, whereas before you just couldn't compete.
Awesome.
That's
yeah, absolutely. So this has been really good. Thank you so much for all the insights. How would you tell an agent or borrower is the best way to work with you? How should they get a hold of you? How do you prefer to communicate? What's the best way to do that?
I think the industry itself demands that we, realtors and loan officers alike, we have to be as available as possible. So if it's texting, if it's calling, if it's emailing me, I have to absolutely be available to all those lines of communication. Everybody's different. If it's a Saturday or Sunday, I think calling me or texting me is probably the best way. A lot of especially here recently, there's a lot of realtors that are just doing a majority of their business on the weekends where they need a quick pre-approval. They had an open house and people came through. They want the home. It's competitive, so you got to lock it in as fast as you can. You shoot me a text, and I jump on the computer and I get what you need done.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And I hope everyone out there has learned a few things. And if you need a mortgage, make sure you reach out to Ryan at Success Mortgage. Have a great day.